Evening. Good evening and welcome to our service. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our service and technician and presenter this evening. Welcome to those joining us on YouTube this evening. And just doing some checks. All right. So we should be live on YouTube. Okay. So welcome everyone joining us. And just as everything starts at the temple, we start with prayer. So just join me in just going into that place, that silence. And that silence, we are one with the one power, the one presence. And I know it expresses perfectly this evening as everyone who participates in this service. And I know that I allow myself to be a clear and open channel for the expression of this one. So I know that every idea expressed is divinely inspired. And I know that everyone who participates expand into a greater awareness of this one, expand into a greater awareness of the only reality, which we call God, expand into a greater awareness of who we are, greater awareness of why we are here. So not everyone who participates this evening is blessed in their own way, and is indeed a blessing to everyone whom they meet. And for this, I am truly, truly thankful. And I release these words to that perfect law that makes it so. And so it is. So again, welcome to everyone joining me on this call, or everyone who's watching on YouTube this evening. So we're just gonna center ourselves in the silence for a few minutes before I start to share some ideas with you this evening. So center yourselves in the silence. So let us breathe in and let us exhale. Breathe in, exhale. And as we breathe in, let us just release any thoughts, feelings, and so on that are distracting. If you breathe in again, let us just be centered right here and right now. And as we breathe in again, let us just be fully present right here and right now. And as we breathe in and exhale, we just relax into the present. As we breathe in again, we just allow ourselves to be open and receptive, open and receptive. Just center and relax ourselves in the present. Just relax our bodies. Relax the upper body. Relax our abdomen. And just relax our lower body. So we just come to that place of perfect peace in the silence for a few moments. And we just bring our awareness back to where we are. And we just get ready to open our eyes. And be fully present here and now. And so we are back. So we are back. So this evening, I'm going to speak to you about accepting reality and seeing beyond imperfection. Now, I want everybody, if you can get something to write this down, and just make a note of what Reverend Reeves said in this today's reading of the Science of Mind Guide for Spiritual Living. He said the law of spiritual living is, and I want you to contemplate this, and we can share on it after. What is within me is greater than any challenge taking place around me. I'm going to just repeat it again. And maybe Sandy can write it in the chat. What is within me is greater than any challenge taking place around me. And that is reality. That is one aspect of reality. And if we accept that reality, then we are able to see beyond imperfection. Not only that, when we accept that reality, we can, for want of better words, embrace imperfection. or what we call perfection. And imperfection is really when we don't like how things turn out, so that they are imperfect. We don't like how things may show up for us. We call that imperfection. And there are two reasons why, or two main reasons why imperfection may be uncomfortable to us. One is due to a programming that kind of take place within society. When we're learning to live with other people, we learn certain norms and certain values and the way how things should be. And we think that that is perfect. And that often leads to feeling of inadequacy, because we tend to compare ourselves with others, feelings of unworthiness, things to criticize, things to complain about, because we don't like how things are. And that usually comes with a feeling of needing to be right, which is another issue that we need to hear. This need to be right. But there's another reason for being uncomfortable in situations that we feel are imperfect. And that is the divine urge within us to move into a greater yet to be, to expand into a greater embodiment of who we are, of what Thomas Troward calls the divine ideal, to expand into a greater awareness of who we are and why we are here. And when we are out of alignment with that, we feel uncomfortable and things appear to be imperfect. Now, to get beyond that situation is to remember that imperfection, first and foremost, is a perception. And perceptions, by their very nature, must be imperfect, as Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians, that we see in part. So when we see in part, things will always appear to us to be somewhat out of alignment, right? And to get beyond that, we need to know that beyond the perception is a perfect reality. As Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teacher, said, there is a perfect cause expressing perfectly. So therefore, when we are not seeing that perfection, is because we are not seeing rightly. And the aim of spiritual mind treatment is to help us to see rightly, to impress upon us the truth of the perfect reality, which is appearing as things that are disorder, disease, challenges, and things like that. To know that these things are transient, they are experiences, whereas reality is what is changeless, which is perfect God, perfect expression, perfect being, right? That is what is changing. And when we accept that, when we are experiencing other than things that are uplifting, things that are beneficial, and so on. It's time to pause, right? To center ourselves and bring ourselves back into alignment with that reality. To recognize that these things have no permanence about them and that we can transcend and overcome them, right? So we get over certain situations like feeling that unworthy, or we seek to find that within us, which is always seeking our spiritual attributes like joy, love, and so on. Instead of seeking them in things like substance or things outside of ourselves, right? In relationships, right? We recognize that that within us is what we are really seeking, right? And until we know and accept ourselves, we will not find no fulfillment in things outside of ourselves. And we're going to be moving from one thing to another thing, right? Try and find it in things like religion, or things like drugs and all of these other things, where we don't accept ourselves and find that fulfillment within ourselves. Right? So as sometime I remember somebody telling me that she don't need any relationship with anybody because she find the fulfillment that she's looking for in Jesus, right? But that fulfillment is really what she's speaking about in that context was really the things within her which she was projecting as being provided by that concept, that knowing, right? So that when we recognize that the reality is within us, and that is our true self, we go beyond these things like seeking the perfection outside, and also realize an even greater truth that when things don't turn up the way we like, it is a time of learning. We can learn from these situations by trying to see what is true behind the appearance. What is it that we need to learn? What is it that we need to see the love, light, the attributes of God which are present in every situation? And in that way, now we can rest in the assurance, grounded in reality, of learning and embracing imperfection, because we have the level of self-acceptance to be able to do that. And the recognition of our oneness with God and all people, which is the ultimate reality. And when we accept that, we recognize that most of the issues that we have with imperfection arises from a false belief in separation, a false belief that we can ever be separated from that which is perfect. So that is my sharing for this evening. And then I want you to comment first on how you feel with the affirmation or the spiritual law I gave you before, and your views about dealing with what we call, from our perception, imperfection. Who want to start? You can just open your mics and speak as you feel free to. And Sandy, you can tell me if there are any comments.
I'm not seeing
on
any.
YouTube.
Actually, there's one comment, but it's in a language that I don't recognize.
Okay.
Not even knowing if it is French or what. Let me just tell you. I'll spell it and maybe someone of you can shed some. Like it says Perpetua, Perpetua. That sounds like something that is everlasting or eternal. And then it's Ljenu, Ljenu, and then Amen. Perpetual something, Ljenu, with a heart.
I am lost. I am lost. The only other language that I have some kind of knowledge about is French.
Perpetua sounds very Spanish, but Ljenu is not. And it doesn't, I don't know.
Those are in capitals?
No, capital Perpetua. And it does have, seems to have the root of the word of perpetual.
Okay, yeah.
And it's L. I wonder if it's how they have typed it and the L got stuck. There was a space between the A and the L. So it's perpetual. And then Jenu.
But that means always, that would be always young.
Ah.
Okay.
Perpetual.
Thanks for that, Carol.
Thank you, my dear. Carol Campbell says, if per, like Carol, I just started a thought.
The second word, jeune, is the French young.
So forever young sounds that way.
Forever young. Oh, okay, but you don't. So how the L come into it though?
No, the L was part of the perpetual.
Perpetual.
It's like you typing and you get a space.
Okay.
But just if I may in advance, I really, really hope that this idea is we see the understanding of this idea about imperfection being a perception. Because to my mind, that solves every problem we have. Because what we get upset and concerned about, if it didn't go right, it's not supposed to go that way. It's really about we are seeing it and judging it according to how we think it should be.
Right.
And equally, it would be wonderful if persons would just allow other people to navigate their experiences without judgment of them.
I'm glad you said that, Sandy, because in the Sands of Mind magazine, there's this article by Kelly Robbins. Yeah.
Or Sally Robbins.
No, not Sally Robbins.
A different person.
No, it's Kelly, not
anyway,
Jenkins. Kelly. I think her last name started with Doug. Somebody I know very well. It's slipping me right now.
Anyway, what she say?
She was talking about the book of not knowing, right? In terms of dealing with this need to be right. So that's the one of us have, even if it's dead right, so to speak, right? That if we could for a week or a period of time, just allow others to be right, to try that exercise. Even if you don't agree with them, just allow them to be right.
Yes,
you know, to see if it could.
That takes humility.
Yes.
Because it means that the person or persons are going to have to get off their thing about feeling they need to be right and need to instruct and tell everyone else what they should be doing or shouldn't be doing.
Right.
It's going to require just letting go, surrender, and just allow it to unfold, you know?
Right. It requires control in one's ego.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is the key to it. And just by doing that, we'll develop a greater capacity to listen to other people. And probably in that way, see, even if you don't agree with them, to see even if there's a more to come of what is true in what they are saying, you know, and we could learn from that, you know.
Carol Campbell is saying, she says, if perfection is the reality, then there is no such thing as imperfection.
There can be a perception of imperfection. And from that perception, it now becomes an experience, but it's a fleeting experience. Yeah. So that is what, and more importantly, is it can become a learning experience when we allow it. Right? As Edison said, we learned 1,000 ways not to do the light bulb. He never really failed as far as he's concerned. He was just learning different ways that don't work in making the light bulb. Right? So if we look at it as learning experiences when things don't go our way, right? And remember that within us is that which is greater than what any challenge in any situation we face. Then we grow through these experiences that we perceive as being imperfect.
Oh, you know,
when we have the challenge is when we want to tell spirit how the world must work. From our limited point of view. That is when we usually run into problems.
May I say something, Vance?
Yes, Carol.
And this is sort of on a personal level. It's something that I've become aware of. That there are people around me, people in my world, people who I interact with every day, or people who I interact with in different ways. And I guess, and what I have realized is that many of them have, habits, and peculiarities and that I really go against my grain. But the other part of it is that I realize that they are that they are my friends. They are people who I have embraced, and that I cannot afford to allow these imperfections about what either let's say they speak a particular way, or they don't behave at table a particular way, or there's something about them that I don't particularly like that goes against many other grains. But I realize that these things are not important to the relationship that I must cherish with them. And it's something that I have examined within myself in relation to various of my friends. And I've decided that the most important thing is to be loving and kind.
You're right.
Rather than being critical and holding up this thing, oh, this person put them elbow upon the table when them eating, or them clap them mouth when them eating, or them chat too much, or them anything that would irritate you.
Yeah.
I've decided that these things, my focus should not be there. My focus should be on their being who they are, perfect expressions of a perfect God. And so it is.
And so it is. You see,
it's has been my very personal experience in recent times. You know, you keep looking at yourself and how you react to situations.
You see, accepting what is
Mm-hmm.
It is a simple thing to say, but it's not an easy thing to do because you're going to face disappointments. And it's hard, it's a challenge not to judge things, but just, as Sandy says, surrender the things. But surrender in a positive way, not in a giving up way,
You
but
know,
in a way of allowing spirit guidance. And from my experience, speaking from my experience, I realize that is where more remarkable things happen. You know, that is where more remarkable things tend to happen, even more than what I would have wanted. And I said, I work out and I said, whoa, yeah, you know.
Thinking about the American political environment, there's so much to say, so much opinion, so much fear, so much anxiety, so much predictioning. And the fact is that if we really were to follow this teaching, none of us here can physically do anything about what's unfolding there.
Right.
We can affirm and pray for right action and for peace.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to just know that the universe is unfolding as it should. This is a place, a time in America's history when I guess they are maybe needing to have this experience. And the former president candidate is maybe the catalyst. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And so
there are different.
We don't want to judge and say, he's this or they're that, or President Biden is this or he's that, or what have you, but just to trust. Trust.
When we ask questions and test our ideas, we begin to realize that there are different possibilities. Right? And in our mind, we never usually exhaust all possibilities. So we have to allow that what we are seeing is just to the best of our knowledge. And then we can do probably the serenity prayer, but we do it. There's an affirmative version that I have of
yes, Vance, I use it. It's the same one. It's the same one. Go on, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is one that I sort of crafted myself because the first one seemed to be more begging, petition. Yeah. So I said that there is that which is omniscient. There is that which is omniscient. I am one with that. So in this awareness, I know the things that I am unable to change at this moment. I also have the confidence and the knowledge to change the things that I can change. And I allow this wisdom to guide me to know the difference.
Wow. That, yes.
Yeah.
If I may, my version is still in the realm of the original. And it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the ones I cannot change. Courage to change the one I can. And the wisdom, know that it's me.
Me, yeah.
I
like that one too. Yeah.
I love both of them. Put it in the chat, please.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. And that is the key, Sandy, to know the wisdom that it is me, that all that unfolds is helping me to become a greater expression of who I really am, right? An individualized expression of the one, right? It's a challenge to accept, right? Because we live in an environment that don't always support that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we do our practices. We do our practices to build up our spiritual muscles, so to speak.
Yes.
So that we can deal with when things
Yes.
don't turn up the way that we want them to be, when we face challenges, when we kind of disappoint ourselves, we know that, yeah, we can come again, right? We can come again. You know, it's like Kishane Thompson. Last year, when he pulled out of the trials, right? Many thought that he was just a flash in the pan, but he was to know himself that within him is a speed that can take him, make him go faster than anybody else, right? So it don't matter what people may have been saying at that time. His coach had that belief and allowed him to develop it within himself. He is able to manifest it now, right? So sometimes we tend to look at things in time and think that it is forever, right? And come to wrong conclusions based upon specific events or circumstances, right? So we have to develop that capacity to know the truth. And even when things don't appear, to remind ourselves of what is true.
We need to go into prayer now.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
Yeah. So prayer requests.
Not seeing any in YouTube. None yet. Sorry, Dawn, I didn't get Vance's own, that sounds like a PhD thesis. He could have to type it up and send it in otherwise.
Yeah.
Prayer requests.
Please do health for me.
Okay.
Carol,
I have another request for health that was sent to the temple. So I'll do both of them.
Yeah. Okay. You have the name?
Yeah.
Dawn, health as well. Treatment for perfection in a healthy body.
So health for Carol, Dawn,
and the person that
Professor Spencer. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also for peace and love. Please write that down, Vance.
Yeah.
Peace and love.
I have another piece.
Good.
This is
Peace and love.
Harmony in the United
States. Yes.
So and your peace and love. Right. Any more?
Who is the person for the piece? No, I'm not seeing any more here.
The other piece is Mrs. Spencer.
Okay.
Peace and
it's funny. Just listen to these requests before you go into that, Vance. Just briefly, in my version of the Serenity Prayer, what I've done is underlined serenity to accept, courage to change, wisdom to know, and then I have a little thesis like yours at the end of it, but we won't get into that now. I will share it with you another time.
Yeah, share the essence.
But
so I'm sorry, Steve. Serenity to accept, courage.
So the same prayer. The prayer remains the same.
Courage to change.
Serenity to accept, courage to change, wisdom to know.
Okay. And so it is.
Yeah. And so it is.
Okay.
And so just join me in this prayer of health for Dawn, Carol, and Professor Spencer. So know with me that there's only one, the living Spirit Almighty. This one is perfect, whole, and complete. This one manifests itself in all perfection, all creation. So I know that within all creation is this blueprint of perfection, wholeness, and completeness. I know this is true for Dawn. I know it is true for Carol. I know it is true for Professor Spencer. I know it is true for all who allow this knowingness to permeate their awareness. So I know that as this knowingness permeates the awareness, this perfection, perfect health manifests in all aspects of physical being, in all aspects of beingness. And I know that anything unlike this perfection is dissolved into the knowingness from which it came. So I know that perfect health is now being experienced in its perfect way, being experienced by Carol, by Dawn, Professor Spencer, and all who allow this experience to be theirs now. And for this, I am truly thankful. And I just release these words to that law that has made it so, and so it is.
Thank you, Vance.
Okay. So it is. We also have light for Carol Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
We have peace and love for peace and family, and yeah, for Dawn, and for Mrs. Spencer. She wanted right. And for Yvonne, divine order.
Divine what?
Order.
Okay.
For Yvonne Chang Oliver.
Okay. I'm going to do peace first.
Okay.
So peace for Dawn, peace and harmony in the United States. That's the request of Mrs. Spencer. And who else asked for peace?
It was Dawn and Mrs. Spencer. That's it.
Okay. I know that we all would appreciate peace. So we know God is peace. That perfect peace. That peace beyond all human understanding. That peace which is omnipresent. So in this knowing that we are one with God, I know that within us there is peace. I know this for Dawn. I know this for Mrs. Spencer. I know this for everyone who allows this peace to be their experience right here, right now. So I know that in the place we call the United States of America, there is peace. For there is no place where God is not. So there is peace within the United States. There's harmony within the United States. I know that any other appearance has come to pass. Peace and harmony is the reality. So we rest in this assurance that anything that appears unlike peace and harmony has no power to maintain it. So we know peace, we know harmony is the true experience of people within the United States, of people within Jamaica, of people everywhere in this world. And I just see this experience being accepted by more people. I see peace, I see harmony, and I give thanks for this awareness. I give thanks for this knowing, and I release these words to that perfect law that makes it so, and so it is.
And so it is. And as you are speaking,
And so it is. Thank you.
as you are speaking in the YouTube chat, Reverend Sonia was asking also for the revelation of peace and safety for Sharon. Okay.
For Sharon.
And Mrs. Spencer. So when you do the divine order for Yvonne Chang Oliver, you can include Beverly Dinham Spencer.
Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay, right. Specifically. Yeah, okay. So divine order. There is one perfect cause, the living Spirit Almighty, which we call God. And we know that this one knows itself as the individualized expression of each and every one. So we know that the manifest universe is a logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of this one. So I know this for Yvonne Chang Oliver. I know this for Beverly Dinham Spencer. I know that this is true for each and every one, that divine order is established in the world. So I know that everything is unfolding in this divine order. So I know that all is well. So I know that right action is established in the lives and the affairs of all who allow Spirit's full expression in their life, in their affairs. Everything takes place at the right time, right place, the right persons. Everything unfolds perfectly in divine order. Divine perfection is established, and divine order unfolds according to perfect divine law. This is true. This is the reality. I know this, and I accept this, And I give thanks for this. And I just release these words and let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
Sorry, some water.
Okay, that seems to be it.
Okay, so you can go to the announcements.
Just gonna check the.
Did you do love?
Oh,
No,
love.
you had said peace and love.
But he did
I
peace.
did the peace.
He did peace.
Okay, okay.
And peace allows love to flow, but I'll do love. So just know with me that God is love. That love which expresses as Spirit giving itself as each and every one of us. That love, sorry, excuse me. That love which is harmony. That love which is togetherness. That love which is authentic self-expression. That love which is self-givingness. That love which is sacred service. That love which is God. That love is established right here, right now. So in this love, we know that all is well. In this love, we see clearly. So I give thanks for this love. I give thanks for the kindness, the gentleness we display with each other, for this acceptance of each other as how we show up. Then it's all God in perfect expression. In this love, all is well. We can rest in this love. We are comforted in this love, accepting our divine assignment, knowing we are supported fully by this love, awakening to that knowledge that this love is who we are. I give thanks for this knowingness. And I just release these words to the perfect love that allows love to be fully expressed. And I know that this is so. And so it is.
So it is.
Okay, so you can share.
Thank you very much, Vance.
You're welcome, Dawn. So on Saturday, we have our legal team available to you, and from 11 to 1 p.m. And this is free, right? So spread the word, Legal Light Saturday. It's not about horse racing. It's about coming to this.
There was a horse named, so don't.
It's about coming to the temple to get free legal advice on any subject that you needed from 11 to 1 p.m. So spiritual
before you move on, sorry to cut you.
All right.
I just realized, go back to that for me, please, Sandy.
Yes. I was gonna change. Anyway, go ahead.
No, bring it up, yeah. Nowhere on it does it say Temple of Light.
Offered by, yes, it is offered by, but not at. Got you. I will make a note of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Temple of Light as a community service. Okay. I was just wondering if we should have the logo and the address, because I was just about to put it in a group. And I realized
yeah, put the address 426.
Okay, I'll fix it. Okay.
So next Tuesday, we'll have practitioner Carol Charlton conducting the spiritual mind healing service. So be sure to join Practice Carol next year. I know she'll have something which is very inspiring and enlightening for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you feel moved to support our ministry, please feel free to donate at donate.templeoflightcsl.org. Thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light for the world. So before you press the donate button, you could just join me in this blessing. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And just before we did the prayer center, do you have anything definite on Lifeline for us yet, Sandy?
It will be going in the announcements on Sunday.
Okay.
So let's do that on Sunday.
Okay. And remember to look out for Constant Contact. I think it's Mondays, it comes into your email. To see all that we are doing at the Temple of Light. And with that,
yes, we have this prayer for center. So I will this is a fixed slide, so I wasn't able to edit it, so I'll have to do it over.
Okay, yeah. I say the prayer for our center. So that I'm gonna ask, feel free to join in. You can open your mics if you so feel to do. And start. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment.
Spiritual community.
Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of faith, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever, and so it is.
And the prayer for Jamaica.
Excuse me a moment. And then we're gonna do the prayer for Jamaica. Together, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love, now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women. The truths of life is set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established, and so it is. So, thank you everyone for joining me. And I will now just do our closing prayer. So I give thanks to everyone who partake within this service this evening. I give thanks to the living Spirit Almighty for guiding me, for guiding everyone who participated within this service this evening. And as we go our seemingly separate ways, we accept the reality that we are one. That we are one with God, one with each other. And in this reality, we know that anything that appears unlike this reality is not true. So we accept seeming imperfections, knowing the reality of perfection beyond anything that appears to be otherwise. And we allow this understanding, this knowing to guide us into a greater expression and acceptance of ourselves. So we give thanks for the sharing this evening. Give thanks for everyone who participates. And I just release these words with gladness and let it be so. And so it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, Vance. Thank you.
So it is.
And thanks everyone for joining in this service this evening. And join Carol next week. So I'm also the technician who have to sign out. So bye everyone.
Bye.